Hey, everybody. This is Jared Ice and Michael Pegger coming at you from Darmstadt. Coming at you raw today.
No preparation at all.
No prep.
Look, I mean, everyone. We've heard a bunch of people say, it doesn't take much preparation to do these things. Come on. And I'm like, what the fuck? First off, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You guys have no idea what you're talking about. When you write in, I just want to let people know that when you write in and be like, oh, you should give more preparation for one of these things, they need to go immediately and fuck themselves. Because it takes a lot of preparation. That being said, today did no preparation.
Today did none, but you know what? We're still going to fucking crush it.
Absolutely.
Mike and I have sometimes you just get busy. I mean, you guys know if you're freelancers and singers, there's peaks and valleys, man. And when there's valleys, we make a mini opera, and when there's peaks, then we don't prepare for podcasts, okay? But what we do is give you a fucking podcast every goddamn time. So
have we ever
shut the fuck up and take your medicine?
Have we ever missed a week? Have we ever?
I think maybe we've been late once or twice.
Like a day, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever skipped.
No, we've never been like, we don't feel like it this week.
Not unannounced, but, you know.
On your free podcast, we've never missed a day for you motherfuckers.
But, yeah, man, we've just been running around. I was in the copy shop the other day. I've lived all over the world, and everywhere in the world, in every country, people in copy shops are a bunch of rude fucking assholes that act like they don't want you there making copies.
Exactly oh, my God, what a good observation.
What is that? Like in America, everywhere. What's the big one in America called? Chappelle did a thing about it. Is it Kinko's?
Show? No. Yeah, Kinko's is one of them.
Yeah, where he's like, fuck them. That's why. Chappelle did a really good sketch about copy shops, pop copy in his sketch. But all over the States, like everywhere in Germany, Berlin, Frankfurt, small cities, they don't fucking want you there. You know, you're like, can I copy 1,000 pages? They're like I had a guy yesterday, and I had to make a copy, and he rolled his eyes at me, and I was like, bro, this is... Like, I'm here doing what you exist for.
Right. Like,
and it's one of those shops where you know it's privately owned. It's not a chain. It's not some teenager. It's like, that's his shit.
They should be fucking thrilled.
And I get
somebody is... Because the thing is, everybody owns printers nowadays. Most people own fucking printers, or they have access to a printer. The fact that I'm coming here is a goddamn miracle. That I couldn't find a free printer somewhere. I'm coming to you.
And I get
Maybe they're just so pissed off that no one's going in there anymore.
He wants it. Now he wants his money making thing, which is those big fucking machines. He wants companies to come in and print big laminated signs, and he doesn't want your $5 fucking dollars.
Well, then don't offer that service.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Then don't fucking offer that service.
I hate that shit. Did you see that the scooters are in Darmstadt now?
Yes. I rode one yesterday.
Did you?
Yep.
I was addicted to it in Frankfurt. You guys probably know what we're talking about. These are these electric scooters you rent with an app, like by the minute. First time I saw them, I was in L.A. 3-4 years ago, and they were the Birds, they were called. And I think I talked about on the podcast. They were just littered all over the beaches.
There are so many goddamn different companies doing it.
Oh, yeah, there's so many. I'm not a fan, I got to say. I might be against it.
I'm not against it.
I'm fine with the scooters. I'd rather people own their own. But the scooters just like everywhere, man, I don't know. I was kind of happy. They weren't in Darmstadt until 2 days ago. And like...
No, yesterday was the first day, wasn't it?
No, I saw them 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Like a thief in the night on Wednesday night. Because I'm all over Darmstadt every day. On Wednesday night, no scooters. And then Thursday morning, scooters everywhere.
Right, Thursday morning. That was yesterday.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
But it's like that's some weird Black Mirror shit. You know, overnight, it's just like, this is part of your life now, children riding scooters, you know?
Yep. They provide a middle, so they provide like a middle opportunity or a middle, opportunity. I don't understand why I have to fucking say things a million different ways all the time. I do it all the time.
Just say it the way, man.
It's the middle point in price between like a cab and doing it on your own. They really, really priced it exactly right. For me to get 2.5 kilometers from my work to my home cost $308.
Yeah.
It's not like a taxi would have been a lot more expensive.
And certain cities, and like where our studio is in Darmstadt, they make perfect sense. It's just wide, flat, open roads.
Yeah.
But if you guys have never been to Darmstadt, which I assume the majority of you have not, the center, Darmstadt comes to a focal point where there's a statue, and it's fucking chaos. Louisenplatz, it's called. And it's chaos without the scooters. I will put money down that someone in the next 2 months is going to get blasted by a bus.
Yeah,
in
I almost hit
Louisenplatz.
one. I almost hit a person with my scooter.
Did you cut through Louisenplatz?
Yeah, I cut through fucking Louisenplatz. But the problem was not me on my goddamn scooter. The problem is people who look down and are in their own goddamn world when they're in
all
a place
that
like
shit's
Louisenplatz.
getting mixed now. You know what I mean? Like back in the days, like I'm sure people felt the same way when bicycles came out. But you got people looking down at cell phones and fucking teenagers riding these goddamn scooters and shit.
Yeah,
all
wait a
mixed
minute.
up.
I don't want to make it seem like, oh, the older people have it all figured out. Most of the people I almost hit were old-ass motherfuckers just looking at
on
their
their
shoes
phone.
as they're
But
going.
my biggest problem
No,
with these
not on their phone. Just not being cognizant enough to have any awareness of the surroundings.
I agree with that. But my problem with the scooters is that it's supposed to be 18 and up. But at least in Germany, like in Frankfurt, you see the business guy with his tie flapping in the fucking breeze. No problem with that. They're alert. They're looking around. But you got the like 14-year-olds that 3 of them ride the scooter at the same time.
Dude, one of Jack's friends, his parents bought him a fucking electric scooter.
How old is he?
7.
That's what I'm fucking talking about, man.
It was way too. As a matter of fact,
You mix the old guy with that kid, it's chaos.
I told him, I'm like, look, it's a cool scooter, but it's fucking illegal. You like get out of my property. The other thing is, these people.
We're saying a lot of old guy shit
look,
right now.
absolutely
Get off my property.
Kids nowadays, they don't recognize, or people in general.
Yeah.
I know it's not cool to wear a helmet. I know.
I
get it.
The other day, yeah.
But it is fucking dangerous as shit to be riding a bike without a helmet.
PSA,
Now, again, I sound like a fucking prude or something like that, but Neil deGrasse Tyson put it the best way. He said it this way. He's like, okay, let me ask you a question. Would you put your head down and run as fast as you can into a brick wall with the top of your head? Would you do that? And everybody, of course, says, no, that'll fuck you up. You can go so much faster on a bike than you can run. Yeah. So much faster. Now imagine tripling, quadrupling your speed and then hitting your head against the wall. That's what you're risking.
Well, you know what's crazy is you just get immune to this stuff. You get like desensitized to it, and it's like if you've never been in a car wreck before, after you get in a car wreck, you're shaken up for a while because you suddenly realize the fucking power
of those things.
Yeah, because not even a bad one. I got hit from the side once, and when you get thrown sideways, like you feel that your car is moving sideways against its wheels.
Yeah.
You realize, like, I'm going really fast out here in something really fucking heavy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And bikes are the same way. If you've ever, like, clipped something with your shoulder,
or
if you've gotten, like, clipped by a car or something like that, you just realize, this is really fucking dangerous what I'm doing out here.
Well, it's not, and it goes beyond that because, look, if you're in a car or if you're in a bike and you hit something going 10 miles an hour or 10 kilometers an hour, let's say, that is nothing. That is frustratingly slow to most people when they're driving. If you hit something straight on at 10 miles an hour, it will fuck up your car bad.
Yeah.
Now, imagine this. If you're hitting another car, and this is just plain old fucking physics, let's say you're only going 35 miles an hour, right? And you hit somebody else straight on that's going 35, it's 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're fucked.
People fucking forget.
Yeah, it's like, think about, like, we've all done this in our life where you're running, probably like as a kid, but maybe you've done it as an adult too. You're sprinting. Have you ever sprinted down a hill and you feel that you're going so fast that you're losing control and you know
you're going down?
That if you drove that speed, it would be so frustratingly slow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when you're running and you're like, oh my God, I'm about to fall down this hill, it's terrifying. But to drive at that speed would be difficult to do because it's so slow.
Oh, yeah, it's all
You know what I
relative.
mean?
Like they have these streets in Germany called Schritttempo, right? Where like they'll show you, all right, there are probably going to be children playing on this street. Yeah. You're not allowed to go faster than walking, which nobody has ever done in the history of that law.
No.
They've never gone walking tempo because walking tempo
difficult to do in a car.
Especially if you have a manual transmission. You are riding that clutch.
Yeah.
You're burning through clutches.
You're like right on the border.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
No.
with your car. And the thing is, again, if you were to hit a kid even at that tempo, you've got a serious chance of killing that motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, like, if I'm walking down the street and I bump into someone, like, they're going to fall over. Anyway, let's just dive right the fuck in here. What do you say, Pegs?
What was I going to say first? Look, we've never used the Instagram or Twitter or Facebook ever for like self-promotion.
Okay.
Right? For you or for me. But I want to fucking say something. I'm at least going to say it on here.
All right, man.
I am so fucking excited for the recital that's coming up, dude.
I thought something bad was coming. Okay.
No, I'm so fucking.
I'm so used to bad news.
I saw your temple like glistening.
Yeah,
with
I
little
was
beads
like, oh,
of
God.
sweat. What the fuck? No. It's this recital which Jared is composing for. Also, I have. It's all about how I went from believing in God to doubting to not believing, right?
Okay, yeah, sure.
And well, I'm not telling you.
Well,
I'm
still
telling
trying
the
to
public.
sound. I'm trying to sound, like I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
The second half of the concert is all completely new composed. First by a composer named Michael Ippolito, who is actually my old roommate, old college roommate, and he is a professor of composition at Texas State University, and he composed Stephen Crane poems, and then the one and only Jared Motherfucking Ice composed the last set of the recital, and I'm so excited for the whole thing.
Yeah.
By the fucking way today's Charles Ives blows my fucking mind, dude.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Why?
Because he's so light years before his time. Light years before this time. He composed a set of 114 songs, right? It's not like a set, but he decided early on, I'm not going to make money as a composer. And he went to Yale. He studied composition at Yale. We should save this for a fucking Charles Ives podcast. But then he basically became independently wealthy from insurance sales.
Yeah.
And he financed the publishing of these songs. And it's just exactly because he did it himself. He's like, fuck it, I don't need to please anyone. And he even says in the back, please don't perform this song, this song, this song. He goes through a list of songs live. He said, don't perform them in public.
Yeah.
Which blows my fucking mind. I'm glad he's dead, though, because I would love to perform just those songs on my next recital.
The forbidden pieces of
Which
Charles
there's
Ives.
no way
That's
I would.
a great recital program.
Exactly. There's no way I would ever listen to him now. He should not be listened to now. He's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? They're cool songs.
Yeah.
And he says some of these songs have little to no artistic value. I love the fucker.
Yeah, I like that stuff too. I mean, because that's the place you have to try to find, like as a performer, especially as a composer. Is this like, I don't give a fuck. And when your life depends on it, when your rent depends on it, it's really hard. And when you're starting singing when you're young and you're like, do you like me? Do you like me? It's really hard. But man, the jumps I've ever made in any aspects of my career, singing or other things I've done, have been when I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do this, and you can suck my dick.
Right.
Like then you make real fucking progress, and you stand out a bit. I don't know. There's not a lot of downsides to doing that shit.
The one downside which he pointed out was, all right, look. You can write this kind of music. You can write what's in your head. If you want to if you are single and you want to live like Thoreau, like out in the fucking woods, right?
Yeah.
You just wanna compose for the sake of composing, and that's what you're gonna live for. You can live like a bohemian and create art. But if you have a wife and kid, you can't do that.
Yeah,
which is why he said he treated it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's what I mean, is if you're making money from your singing or your art, then you have to appease the choosers.
Absolutely.
'Cause I've worked in a few different industries, right? And if you're a creative, it doesn't matter if it's in business, if it's in music, if it's in design or arts or fashion. If you're the creator, you will not make as much money as the choosers. The choosers make the money. I like that. I don't like that. They're always making more money than you.
Well, what's awesome is it seems like you and I, even though we were chosen to do this recital, we didn't really take into account what other people want to hear at all, which is evident in the song cycle, and I can't wait for you motherfuckers to hear it. I can't wait. We're going to record it and put it out there.
We'll tell you if people riot or not.
Because
people get pissed off. We might get hate mail.
Oh,
that's fine.
fuck yeah. I'm expecting I'm expecting cringes.
Oh, cringe
and cringes and scowls.
Scowls.
That should be the name of my recital.
I'm going to record it, but you know what? I'm going to put a camera like when they record the audience of horror movies. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do one of those where it's like, it's you, it's the pianist's hands, and then it's some old woman going like, no, and like shaking her head.
Actually,
that would be a hilarious cut.
If you do you ever watch the Monty Python, not the Flying Circus, not the show that they did?
Back in the day, yeah.
Okay, do you ever remember seeing like after they'll have like a sketch and then they'll like put in some clapping and then they'll have this picture of like old it's a black and white. Old ladies like sitting clapping, like looking around, politely clapping.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I think so.
That is footage taken from the first recording of the first show or like the test show.
Oh, that's
and they
hilarious.
thought it was so funny
Yeah.
how these completely mismatched, like the people who they got for the audience were so mismatched to the humor that they were just like, what the fuck is this? But they were doing it so politely that they all thought, that's hilarious. We've got to put it in like every show.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the good shit, you know? I'm going for gasps. All right. We're just gonna give you guys a fucking hodgepodge here today of stuff. So Mike, you wanna get weird or do you want to get really weird?
Let's get really weird.
All right. So then pull up your phone, go into the Gmail account, Mike.
All right.
We share a Gmail account. We share everything. Okay. Then you got to open the inboxes, right?
Okay, hold on.
And then there's a folder called unanswered fan mail. Okay.
All inboxes? Oh no, I see.
Yeah, don't say the name of the person that wrote this. They don't want their name. Yeah, so don't say it. Otherwise, I'll have to cut it out.
I don't. You mean it's like a fucking? Like a fucking.
It's a secret sponsor, but they don't want their name said. It's the second one from the top. You see where it says Fachfiction?
Oh, unanswered fan mail. Yeah.
Yeah, click it. Fachfiction.
Yep.
Don't say the name. Then open the PDF because this is a new one. We're gonna both read one.
Jimmy Magoob wrote us something. That's your name. I know
what's the title? Did you find the right one?
A Hard Day at SDAO.
Oh yeah. Okay. The title. Mike and I are sight reading this right now. We both have not read this.
This is pressure. Why do you do this to me?
I haven't read it either, dude. I read it once to make sure there wasn't like any like weird like racist shit in it or something like that. But I didn't. That was like I don't know, a month ago or something. All right, so this is called A Hard Day at SDAO by a secret sponsor. You ready, Mike?
Yep. Hey, secret sponsors! This is the 15th secret sponsor podcast of the season.
Mike, we almost never start a podcast this way.
Let me do this my way. Anyways, today we're going to be jamming on why our fans are wonderful people.
We love our sponsors.
Yeah, if it weren't for you guys, our secret sponsors, this podcast wouldn't be possible. This shit is expensive. It's gotten to a point where, my kids aren't going to college. That's how far it's gotten because of all my money has gone into keeping this thing afloat. Sorry, Dodo. Dodo's my wife. For those of you who don't know, she put my wife's name in.
I know this is creepy. This is creepy how accurate this shit is, dude. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. We have to move on.
Wait. What? We just started the podcast. There's no way we're already out of time.
Yeah, but there's shit we got to get to, man.
We're telling our sponsors we appreciate them. Stop moving on to the next thing as soon as you feel uncomfortable with sentiment.
I don't know, Mike. That was heading in a weird direction with your kids and your wife. Let's move on.
Now, you, Jared Ice, have a problem with sentimentality.
Oh, my God.
I love my wife and my kids, and I love this podcast, and I love a lot of other things. Is that so wrong? And yes, I spend their college fund buying these new cameras because I like how she put all of the financial emphasis on me.
Scarily...
This makes me sound like a fucking philanthropist or something.
This is scary how accurate.
Okay, wait, let me get back into this. Is that so wrong? And yes, I spend their college fund buying these new cameras because nothing but the best comes close to meeting your standards, Jared.
Oh my God.
But it'll be worth it. You know why? Because you and me, we have something to say in the opera world, and if it takes money to get it out there, then so fucking be it.
Mike, you're yelling so loudly, I'm going to have to edit the crap out of your audio track in post. Just quit yelling. You're pinging like crazy. Let's see, clattered sounds heard in the background, coupled with indiscernible frustration, grunting, and yelping from Mike. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, everyone. So Mike is taking his shirt off, and he's rolling on the ground. I'm going to go join him. Okay, Jared's voice. I don't know. It's taking a weird turn. Jared's voice fades away as he steps away from the microphone. Okay, look back. What's going on, dude? Why are you rolling around on the floor? And why are your nipples hard? You've lost your goddamn mind. Come on, let's get back to the mic and keep the podcast going. I'm going to have a lot of editing to do. Another night in the studio.
Okay, people. Oh, wait, Mike's voice is here. Coming. Mike's voice. Okay, people. Here's the deal.
Mike gets visibly choked up.
My wife and the kids, this podcast means so much to me. But the truth is, I just want to curl up in Jared's lap and listen to him sing me to sleep.
Hey, man, is that what this is about? If you want me to sing you to sleep, bud, I'll do that for you.
Really?
Yeah, man. No need to take off your shirt and go rolling around on the ground like a crazy person. Mike, you're looking at me with those pink nipples and those sad eyes. Mike's voice is heard through Jared's microphone.
Sing me happy birthday, Jared.
Jared sings the first two lines of Happy Birthday in a low, sultry Marilyn Monroe impersonation. The tune fades out, and all that can be heard is Mike and Jared's deep, passionate kiss.
What the fuck? End of scene.
What the fuck, man? That got weird. That got so weird.
Why was I rolling? Wait a minute. What the fuck? Why was I rolling around throwing a tantrum?
Yeah.
I was throwing a tantrum?
Yeah.
Jesus
that wasn't
Christ.
so strongly motivated. Yeah, it was something about the money. It was kind of accurate in the beginning there, though, you know?
I have never said that I've taken on all the financial responsibility, but Jesus Christ, did this take a turn. Man, that got gay as gay can be.
Oh, yeah. So, look, guys, if you write it, we'll read it. So maybe that one deserved a second proofread.
I did.
Yeah, you saw where it was going at
background.
some point. So Mike said he wanted to get really weird, so we got really weird.
Jesus Christ.
All right, let's tip it up.
I cannot believe somebody wrote that. Is this supposed to be...
Freudian.
You just said just the
fiction.
tip love to me.
Yeah, that's
That's what
what's
you
going on here.
just said.
I told you this is the unhinged episode. All right, since we're in the inbox anyway, we're just gonna keep tipping it up here. All right, let's see. So I can take that one out and I can move that to another inbox. Move to fan mail. Okay. Okay, here we go. Hey there. This is more of a tiny suggestion than an actual question, but here I go. I was listening to the most recent fan mail episode, and Jared was talking about his obsession with Monster energy drinks. I don't know if I'm obsessed with them, man.
You wake up in the morning and you have Monster energy drinks. No, I guess somebody is obsessed. You're as obsessed as I am with coffee.
Yeah. I don't know if they have bang energy drinks over there in Germany, but they're supposed to be better for you. I call bullshit. It's all trash. But the flavors are so much better than Monsters, and they're all I drink when I'm going to go lift in the morning, or I need 2 cups of coffee but don't want actual coffee. Anyway, keep up the awesome work, you guys. Look,
Have you heard of Bang?
I haven't heard of Bang. I'll try it. I'll give anything a try. But I'm just trying to get as close to cocaine as I can. Okay? Because that's honestly, if it was socially acceptable for me to just rip a line in the morning and get to work, I would be very productive and very happy while doing it.
Have you done cocaine before?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you find you can function?
Look, I mean, it's like anything. It matters how much you're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like in Wolf of Wall Street, he has that little fucking spoon. Like that could pump you up. That could amp you up. But if you're fucking getting crazy, you'll lose control.
Get that grape shit that guy at the bar gave us that one time.
Yeah, Mike and I think we told the story on the podcast. Maybe it's a secret sponsor podcast, but we were in a bar here in Darmstadt, and a soldier came up. And
No, he wasn't a soldier. He was one of these contractors, right? So there are bases around here, right? And he was a contractor, like an IT contractor or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Those people make so much fucking money. Hallelujah. I mean, this guy was just he was buying us everything.
He was like forcing us to buy shit. He's like, you hungry? And we're like, no. He's like, I'm buying you a pizza.
Yeah,
and
and then
we're like, no. And he's like, hey, get them a pizza.
Yeah. And we would like say, oh, I'll have this kind of whiskey. He's like, no, get the expensive one.
Yeah.
Like,
So I was
wanting to give it away.
And we were kind of tired. It was a late night. I think it was my birthday a couple years ago. I think that's why we were there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And anyway, so at one point he just pulls out this glass bottle, puts some powder on his hand, and just sniffs it. And he's like, whoa! And I was like, did this guy just do cocaine
in front of everybody
in a student bar? And the funny thing is, nobody reacted.
Nobody.
And so I was like, bro, what is that? And can I have some? And he's like, oh, it's grape sugar. And I never saw this in America, but in Germany they have these grape sugar like is it gum or it's like candy normally? I don't really
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it, but you just suck on it and then it like pumps you up. It gives you some energy. And this guy was snorting it, and so Mike and I did a rail, and and it did it. It got you amped up, and it was like cocaine for kids. You know,
It just didn't last very long.
no, just like the real thing. But
Yeah, cocaine doesn't last very long?
nah, you only high for like 10, 15 minutes. That's why people overdose, because you got to keep doing it, and then the more you do it, the worse the crash is. You know.
Oh, man.
So anyway, but we were bumping rails of grape sugar off of the bar, and nobody came over and asked what we were doing.
Nope.
You know, that's what was funny is we were acting drunk and crazy, and no one was like, "Hey man, are you doing cocaine in a bar?" So like, I guess in Germany it would be fine if you did that. You know,
Which means you could.
Yeah.
There was no distinguishing that white powder from cocaine to my eye. I couldn't see it. You take some cocaine, you put it in that little thing of his.
yeah, it had a label on it, but it was small, but it was just a glass bottle.
Yeah,
you know?
because the label, you piss in a beer bottle, it doesn't make it beer. You know?
But energy drinks, my story with energy drinks goes way back. For those of you, a lot of non-Americans listen to your show. Tell me if I'm wrong, Mike. Mike and I grew up on different coasts in the U.S.
No, you're not wrong.
Thank you. But when you're young in America, you kind of, it's like on your bucket list to someday do a cross-country road trip, right? Don't most Americans want to do that once?
Yeah, I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
I've at least always wanted
So I
to.
did it once, and it was horrible. It was one of the worst experiences of my life, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I went with my brother, and when we were loading up the car, I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee back then.
Nice.
And we were loading up the car to go across the country, and the plan was to like see all the sights up north, the Grand Canyon, up to like Mount Rushmore, up to Niagara Falls, and end up in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And we bought a pallet of energy drinks, and I think he worked at a grocery store at the moment, so we had a catalog, and we were like, give us one of everything.
Yeah.
We're going to try everything. And there was an energy drink in that batch called Red Line, right? And it's for like, have I told the story already in the podcast?
No, I don't think so.
And Red Line is for bodybuilders, right? It's like, and it says on the bottle, it has a clear strip on the bottle where you can see the liquid inside, and it's like a medicine bottle.
Oh,
There's
red line, like redlining on your car.
Yeah. And there's like milliliters or whatever, and it's like only take, like you're not supposed to drink the whole bottle. You're supposed to dose it out over the week or something like that. But we had this
hell.
pallet of energy drinks between us, and we would just grab a random one and drink it, right? And I remember we were driving through Montana, and Montana's a huge fucking state.
huge.
And we hit the border by Idaho. Sun was coming up. We get to like the middle of the state. Sun goes down behind us. We get to the other border. Sun comes up, right? That's how long it took to drive across that fucking state.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000+ fucking miles. And when we hit that first border, we share the red line, or I think we each had one or something like that. And then when that sun went down, all I remember is fast, aggressive talking, like basically what you and I do on the podcast for like 10 hours straight.
Jesus
and it was a blur.
Christ.
And I was just like, oh, motherfucker, I think I'll... And it was like this. And that, to this day, is the closest thing to fucking drugs I've ever had in an energy drink. I don't know if they still make Red Line, but it was like Four Loko back in the day. That shit should have been illegal. You know?
But
You ever had Four Loko back in the day? You remember that whole craze?
No.
You know what it is, though, right?
No.
Four Loko?
No.
A can of Four Loko had something like the alcohol of half a bottle of vodka and like 12 cups of coffee.
Jesus.
And kids would just fucking drunk this. And there was a party where like a lot of people died. And I think it might have been one of the universities I went to. I think maybe that's why I know about this. And like half the people fucking died from like their hearts exploding from Four Loko.
Oh my God.
So they had to change the recipe or some shit like that.
Man, that must have been dangerous to be on the road with you guys. If you don't even fucking remember it, you guys must have been going at 112, either that,
Yeah.
or you just weren't paying attention. You were traveling like 30 miles an hour.
No, the population density of Montana is
nothing.
fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And so I remember it was fucking eerie as fuck. We went to this town and we got gas and there was like nobody there except some weird dude. It was like a zombie movie, exactly like that. And we went to Walmart and there was no one shopping there. There was like 3 people working there in this huge Walmart, you know?
Dude, it's
No one's living out there.
I love my family used to get this one magazine, and in the back of it, they would have ranches that you could buy.
That's some Pittsburgh shit. The magazine had ranches you could buy?
It was called Country, like some like Country Magazine.
Okay.
It was talking about ranches
that sounds like your childhood, yeah.
in fucking Montana.
Yeah.
And these ranches would have with them 100,000 acres.
Yeah, for nothing.
Well, no, I mean, they cost because the thing is, in these ones, they would develop it by
relatively
making a big old fucking mansion on it, right? So you have like this beautiful fucking Montana mountain. You walk out on some porch and you see bald eagles fucking midair in front of like a big like fucking mountain.
Yeah.
And with it, 100,000 acres or something. And for a couple million, but not so much more, 2 million.
But that's what I mean is I had two friends.
2 million buys you a moderately sized house in Darmstadt.
Yeah,
or
no. You can
Frankfurt.
if you want to buy an acre of land and a house in Montana. You already have the money for that now.
Right, you have it now.
Like, you don't need to have anything in the bank. They're like, just go and we'll figure out the paperwork later.
Like, people bitch about these sorts of things, but it's like, spread out a bit.
Yeah.
Spread out a bit.
There's
you don't
plenty
need to
of room
pay
in
that
Montana.
money.
I mean, this road they built through Montana was a straight line. It was just like, get the fuck through this state.
So my father and I went fishing
Yeah.
On the Missouri River there. And at one point, we went fishing on all different ones, on the Yellowstone and Bitterroot and everything like that. And at one point we were, there's a mountain on the right. You're going on one of those straight roads, right?
Yeah.
Mountain on the right, like in the distance, mountain on the left. You're in this fucking valley between two big-ass mountains. We were going straight in between them, like along the valley. And then at one point, they're like, okay, the river's over there. And we took a perpendicular. And I'm like, oh, we'll be there really soon.
Yeah.
We drove on this road for close to an hour.
Yeah.
It didn't look like we were making
like
any progress towards that fucking river or towards that mountain that it was next to. It was absolute fucking insanity. I couldn't believe how my brain was deceived.
And I was looking the other day, the population density of like Shanghai or something like that.
Oh, it's
and
nuts.
it's like 8 people a meter.
Yeah, it's
8 people,
nuts.
not a kilometer. Usually they talk about population density in terms of kilometers, but it was like 8 people a square meter.
I can't remember what
like
it was.
8 people standing on a table. Fuck.
There used to be this like slum town. It was it wasn't even a town. It was a part of a Chinese city. I think it was in Beijing, right? And it was called not the Forbidden City, the like Slum City or something like that. And it was basically one solid building made of 150 tiny little
I've seen that
high-rise things. They destroyed it now because it had its own. The police from Beijing could not go in and would not go in because it basically was a fucking anarchist wet dream.
Yeah.
They had their own sort of like economy
System,
in their whole system. It was so fucking crazy. I can't remember what it was called.
That's just happened. In Seattle, they had something similar. They had like a tent city that I remember, like, and there was like 1,000 people living in this tent city, and then the police went and like kicked everybody else, I guess, and then they just went to the city. But it was the same thing. It's like they couldn't let this happen because they were like, it was like becoming its own fucking like independent colony of.
But they were just homeless people.
Yeah, because like Seattle has a huge homeless problem still to this day.
All of the West Coast is ridiculous,
and I think a lot of it comes from the shanty towns. Seattle had one of the biggest shanty towns back in the day during the Great Depression. If you guys don't know what a shanty town is, during the Great Depression, people would basically like build cities out of garbage. Like they were like you'd live in a fucking like house made of car doors or whatever. And Seattle had a huge fucking shanty town. And that shit doesn't just go away. Seattle, man, it's like Germany. People talk about Frankfurt like there's a lot of homelessness there. It's fucking
nothing.
It's nothing compared to a normal U.S. city.
You cannot.
Seattle, you're just stepping over people on the street, and you just become used to it. It's fucked
Skid
up.
Row right now in L.A. is an actual honest to God problem, and the politicians they talk about these solutions.
Yeah.
They'll cost $1 billion fucking euros or dollars, and they won't be ready in 15 years or something like that. And each unit is costing almost it's so crazy how fucking inefficient and terrible it is. Now, I also saw a story about this guy. He's like, fuck this. I can make tiny little homes, like sort of trailer homes, right? And he would make these on his own dime and on the donations of other people. For $1,000, he could make a little place with a chair, a window, a lock, so that homeless people could, be certain that their shit wasn't going to get stolen.
Yeah, sure.
Like a nice bed, a place to sit, a place to write, like a little sink or something. City came and just requisitioned all of them. Just took them all down.
So fucked
took
up.
them all away
One
because they weren't doing it. It pisses me off. The problem in America with homelessness is a travesty.
Yeah. And I mean, the problem in America, not just with the homelessness, is it's this divide between rich and poor people, and it's like people talk about the 1% and the 99%, but also people that are just average. You know, you got like I don't know $5,000 in the bank account and like some debt or something like that. Like you're fucking average. Those people shit on homeless people. You know what I mean? So what you're doing to them is what the rich people are doing to you. You're just part of the fucking chain of events.
Okay. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. But what I was mentioning in the last, and maybe I'm just not going with the flow. It particularly pisses me off because somebody wants to make a change, and then the government, who proclaims to be helping those people, comes and takes away those little homes.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was going in the same vein. I was more saying that like with this type of stuff, people have a tendency to like not want to help because they've never been poor before.
Yeah,
and everybody is like a year abroad. Everybody should be poor for a year. You should have to work in a restaurant as a waiter, and you should have to be poor for a year.
Be character building.
I've had a couple periods in my life where I was very, very poor, very poor. You know, like basically I always had enough friends to not end up on the street, but like borderline. You know. And the amount of oppression and anger you have and depression, it's like people are like, well, just get a job and get a haircut. It's like, man, you've never been in that situation, and you can't just buck up. You know what I mean?
No, you can't just buck up, especially if you're in a place like L.A. or San Francisco where the fucking rent is so stupidly high.
People say dumb shit like that. Why don't you just get on a bus and go somewhere else? It's like you've never been there. And what you're saying to those homeless people is what the rich people say to you, where it's like, well, if you lost your job, why don't you just tap into your fucking savings then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they don't understand you just like you don't understand them. So as you're looking up pissed off, make sure you're not also looking down pissed off.
Absolutely.
Because then you're a goddamn hypocrite.
Yep.
Anyway, energy drinks to homelessness. That's how we do it here on the STAO podcast. Thank you for writing in. I'll check out, what was it called? Bang energy drinks. You know, I had two friends in university that were crazy people, and they said crazy things that they actually ended up doing. I had one friend who said, I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to learn, I think, like forestry. He's like, I'm going to go buy a place in Montana, live off the land, and figure out a way to make money. And as far as I know, this guy for the last 10, 15 years has lived on like one of these ranches, a smaller version of it, and he makes lures for fly fishing, and he just drives to the city and sends this shit out, and it's like... He worked hard for a couple years in Washington State before he went to Montana.
Is he a guide? Does he go on the river with people?
I think he does that type of shit.
Yeah.
And he just kind of has money and he just lives off the land.
Fuck, dude, you can make a good living doing that.
And he's crushing it, man. It's just like, fuck. And I had another friend who was a musician, and he was just like, my dream in Seattle, there's a street called Alaskan Way, and you can park there for free down by the water. And so it's become like basically a mobile home village. There's just hundreds of people lined up, and you park, and that's where you live for life. You know, you don't move. And he's like, I'm gonna get a mobile home. I'm gonna go there, play guitar on the street, and live there. But he does. As far as I know, he's been doing that for a long fucking time.
Amazing.
Just driving this thing around. You gotta go empty the toilet sometimes, but it's like just living out of that thing.
Amazing.
Anyway, man,
that's fucking crazy.
There's people doing different shit out there. All right, let's move on here. Let's tip it up. What do we got?
Hey guys. What do we got?
I don't know. I didn't proofread these, so I'm afraid to just read them on the air. But I'm just gonna die. I guess I could edit it out if it gets weird. Subject: a love letter for STAO.
Have we ever edited anything out? Have we ever been ashamed of anything that we said?
No. What's funny is on the first episode, you said your kids' names, and then you had me edit them out. And then, ever since then, you bring them up all the time.
Well, it's because, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
In this whole thing. And now people are writing gay sex fantasies with my wife's name.
Yeah.
In them.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy.
There were 3 names. Your name, my name, and my wife's name.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
But also our roles, like with the podcast and everything, were pretty accurately represented. Edited stuff out, though? No. I mean, we had glitches that I had to, like, kind of cut out and snap it back together. But content that we edited out, I don't think we ever have.
No.
It's funny. I remember back to like the John Brands episode. We spilled beer, and he's like, "Should we take a cut?" And I was like, "No, man.
That's not how we do shit here.
We don't do that. We don't. I'm not working extra. I'm pushing export, and then this thing's done. I'm not gonna like go in and clean it up."
I like it that way. I hate when you listen to a podcast and you can hear like, "Oh, this is the third take."
Yeah.
Of him saying that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do it like that.
Holy shit! Can we rant about something again
all right,
soon?
man.
No. Get that out there. Get that.
Well,
Let's
this might
get
be a
this
long
out.
one. You never know where this is going to go.
Fuck it.
Can you remember your shit? You're not great about that,
Yeah,
Mike.
hold on. I'll write it down. Go ahead.
You
Read
can
it.
write it down? All right. But can you write and listen? Just get your shit out now, man. Just do it now.
No. We'll talk about it later. Go.
All right, man. Okay. Subject: a love
I love
letter.
you, Jared. I love you.
a love letter for SDAO. There's a lot of love on this podcast today.
Love and sex.
Okay. Message: Hi, Jared and Michael. This is I don't know if I should say your name. I never know.
Don't say it. Go.
Okay, I'm not gonna say the name. I'm on the last episode of season 1 and loving the podcast. I have no idea what that is. Season 1. Christmas. That's Paul Brady, I guess.
Oh yeah, maybe. Or was that the beginning?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Since I found SDO through my friends, I didn't look at your page to see what you guys look like. I thought you would think it was funny that I've been imagining Michael as Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Who the fuck is Jesse Tyler Ferguson?
Pull up Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Jesse Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Jared as Keanu Reeves. So I sound like Keanu Reeves, I guess. Jesse Tyler Ferguson. That's fucking hard to say.
The fuck?
Let me see.
A redhead. I don't even know who that is.
That's not who she thinks you look like. That's how she thinks you sounded like. That's how she pictured you in her
head. I've never seen that. What has he even been
Will you turn
in?
your goddamn phone and let me get a peek here?
Hey, he's from Montana. He's from Missoula.
Oh, this guy. This guy's in that show, Modern Family or something, isn't he?
Okay. I don't know him at all.
Yeah, well, that's what you sound like.
Oh, whatever. Cool.
Anyway, I know you get a lot of comments about it, but I'm thankful that I can listen to the podcast in my car without moving the volume a lot. Oh yeah, back in the early days. You remember that?
That was hot.
Fucking
that was
screaming
hard.
and shit. Anyway, thanks for being my people that I can talk to about opera while I'm away from my friends at music school due to the summer coronavirus and writing my knowledge of topics on my own. I probably wouldn't have thought to go in-depth search about Wagner, even though there's such a thing as people in the 30s going through another vocal change. Okay, now we get to the question, Mike, so fucking pay attention.
Okay, I'm paying attention.
Yeah, you're not.
I am.
That's not your paying attention voice.
That's true. That's true.
If I could have you guys talk about a topic, I would ask about how to deal with going from being in a university school setting with a few mentors that you rely heavily on to help you through the process of setting your technique, helping you mature as a person, and bouncing off ideas of how to start a career into graduating and being on your own. What I mean by being on your own is not having a set of voice lessons every week. Okay, I'm skipping through. There's a lot of stuff. I do not feel like I'm ready for a career in opera. Master's degree, did you deal with that? Voice lessons, professional world. Feel like graduation after other majors. Sink or swim. Okay, so basically the summary of the email is you have mentors, you have a support system in university, you have voice lessons, and then you go into the professional world and it's just poof, it's gone. No more voice lessons, no more mentors, no more guidance.
Yeah, but I wonder
how do you fucking manage
I wonder
that?
why you think of it that way. Like, did the professors die? No, they're there. Most of the time, if you have a professor, you develop a relationship with them over 4 years. Oftentimes, they're always there for Zoom or Skype or whatever.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how much they'll be there for you. Mike still has long-term relationships with his stuff. Me, not so much, but me on the other side of it as a teacher, if my students I haven't taught in 5 years write me an email, I'm like, yeah, let's call and talk about it.
Yeah.
I think you'd be surprised how much they would continue to support you.
Absolutely.
But you have to fan the fire on that, I think.
Sure, they've got a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
They've got new students all the time. You've got, I mean, I've talked about the one the vocal trials and tribulations I had about, a couple years ago?
Yeah.
My teacher helped me out, I mean, I remember it was even Facebook Messenger at one time I wrote him on and, sang a couple things on, the voice memo and said, what do you think about the difference between this and this and this, right? And he helped. He's not given a fucking lesson at that time. He's just given an ear. And that most people are going to, a teacher that has you, unless you guys didn't get along, wants to see you succeed.
Yeah, they care about it. Otherwise, they're fucking stupid because it's a terrible job to have if you don't care. You know, it's like if you don't care about your job, do something to make more money. But also, as you get older, you become a collaborator. You know what I mean? When you're younger, you're just trying to, and this is all industries. You can apply this to being a marketing person. You know, when you're younger, you're like, how do I do this right? Is this okay? Is this what you want?
Right.
And when you get a certain amount of experience, you become a collaborator. Yeah. And so Mike brought up this recital we're working on. So the other day, me, Mike, and the pianist, we had a kind of a session where we worked on it, and it was a mutual collaboration, but we learned from each other. Right. I learned from you, you learned from me, we learned from him. And it's like your colleagues somehow start to become people who can also mentor you in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can also help you guide your career because they went through what you went through 2 years ago. Because it becomes a thing where it's like everyone's experiences are so varied. It's like, hey man, I heard you did that weird gig that one time. I got a thing similar. How did you get through that? You know, and then you tell me.
That's true. That's true. You have all of your colleagues to lean on also.
Mm-hmm.
It just hit me, though,
Yeah.
that perhaps something to say about it is you should rid yourself of the needing a mentor mentality at some point. That you become your own mentor is somehow in one of the next important steps.
Mm-hmm.
And the time to kind of make it is when you get out of college and start entering into the world. I say that knowing it's difficult for a lot of people, but you gotta fucking do it. You gotta put on your
at some point you have to
pro shoes, and you gotta fucking just be, and make like this sounds a bit highfalutin, but you have to make life your mentor.
Yeah.
You have to just from all that experience that you have, just keep teaching yourself and be that and fill the role that your teacher was also before.
Yeah, live, laugh, love.
Shut the fuck
no,
up.
no, I know what you say though. But you become the mentor at some point. You know, it happens in a weird way where suddenly you're giving advice to people. You know what I mean?
No, I mean but also be your own mentor.
Yeah.
So,
but also it never stops. There's no lines with any of this shit. You
Right.
know what I mean? And also everybody needs different things. I mean, you and I both know people who they need voice lessons every week,
That's right.
like it's their lucky glove in baseball or something. You know what I mean? And it's like what help keeps them grounded and sane. And some people just don't fucking need anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really like having a lot of mentors. I'd rather just do my version of it.
Right.
And some people need like 5 people in their life that tell them how they should dress and how they should like introduce themselves. And some people need something in the middle. So you got to look at who you are and who you're becoming. And then the most important thing, I think, is that there's no right way. There's not the way to do it. And people who teach the way, I would always be wary of those people because they don't have enough experience. It's that Dunning-Kruger shit. If you think there's one way to live your life in any regard, career or private, you probably don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again.
Tell it again, man.
I once went to, it was here in Germany, there was an American whose name I won't mention. I want to, because fuck that guy, right? But I won't do it out of politeness. I'll just say fuck you, Anonymous, right?
Is this the guy we were talking about the other day?
Yeah, this is the guy we were talking about the other day.
Fuck that, yeah.
And which I can't believe I still taught. Like, I was so stupefied by the whole experience that 10 years later I still talk about it to Jared sometimes, right? And I went there and he had like a summer voice clinic in some tiny town in Germany, right?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of those.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of those. And this guy, he's like some New York teacher. He's not affiliated with a school or anything like that.
One of the gurus.
He's a fucking, that's exactly the way to put it.
The gurus.
It was so guru.
I hate that
and
shit.
it was so culty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with somebody, and mind you, I had just started my career, right? And I was talking to them, and it was like it was in one of these tiny little like bed and breakfast hotels, like German things, where there's like this room with a tiny bar, and we're there talking, and I said, and she's like, he's really, really great, isn't he? He's really great. And I'm like, God, everybody needs to calm the fuck down right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, he's got some things to say. He's got some things to say.
Which
but,
is the most you could say about like anybody.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. And I said, but I said the most important thing is to hear this and be like, okay, I heard that, and then
make your own fucking
and then
choice.
Take some and leave some.
Yeah,
and I said, I don't. I've have my own way of doing things, and there's things that work for me. And I said, besides, there's not really the way to do it, right?
Yeah.
There's not like a right way. And she's like, oh no, totally, there's not a right way, but his is the right way.
God.
She said those words to me.
That's like Handmaid's Tale shit.
She said those words to me so completely unaware of the hypocrisy of what she said.
Yeah.
But his is right. What the fuck are you talking about?
That shit, man. I don't know who freaks me out more, the guru themselves, that like, what's that guy, the church guy that won't let people into his church, Jeff Olstein, or what's his name?
Oh, yeah. Olstein. That,
like
mega church guy.
Yeah, the mega church. He's like, he gives no money to Corona. He won't let you in. But it's like, he's like, there's singer versions of these people. You know what I mean? The gurus. So I don't know what freaks me out more, them or the cult. You know what I mean? They're both fucking freaky, man.
Creed Bratton on The Office said, you make more money as the cult leader, but you have more fun as a follower. Right? Which I'm not sure is true in this case because this guy was he was an asshole to these people.
Oh, yeah, man.
He was a fucking asshole. Now, listen, I'll tell a little bit. Can I tell a little bit more about the story? Because
Tell
it's
more,
relevant.
but just use as many names as you want. You can call people out. I don't give a fuck, but just be wary.
Nah, fuck
be wary,
it, because,
dude.
I just
the cult,
want-
they're out there, man.
I'm
They're
gonna
wondering.
I'm gonna try to make it so that perhaps the people who are following this fuckhead can hear it and recognize it,
Okay.
right? But at one point in the evening, it's all, we're going to have a YouTube viewing party, right?
That sounds like hell, dude.
Right.
I'm gonna interrupt. We're gonna do a little back and forth. Okay. Every time I throw a party, I have a few rules, and I used to actually literally put them on the wall.
Right.
And rule number was: do not pull up YouTube. It kills the vibe
Absolutely.
of everything. Don't show me a fucking YouTube video ever.
The thing is, the guy, the teacher,
Yeah,
the guru, was leading the party.
That's I know. That's
right?
what I mean. It's just there's no way that's fun. There's no way that's fucking
there's
fun.
no way it was fucking fun. I mean, it wasn't fun at all. But I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm trying.
Young Mike.
I'm trying to be a part of this whole thing without selling my soul.
Yeah.
To this fucking really really tight fucking way of singing that he proposed. And what he said was, so he brought up a singer in a live recording singing Lohengrin or Parsifal, right?
Okay.
And the guy on the recording, like on the live recording, he's like, look, this guy, he's not using this right technique. He's not and I remember the singer, I can't remember the name, but I know.
But it's like someone singing at the Met making a ton of money or
it's
something.
someone singing at the Met, and this guy was a guy that I knew primarily for Mozart.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And then he said, "Now see, this is how it should be done." And he pulls up a recording, and it's a YouTube video of this Wagnerian, one of the greats to ever sing it, right? And it's not a live; it's a studio recording where they stand and lip sync as it's doing, as the scene is going on, and they have all of the fucking stuff. And he says, "Now see, he's doing this here and this here and this here." And I raised my hand, and I said, excuse me, is it, perhaps not, I don't know, but isn't it also possible that this guy in the first video isn't really his fault? And he goes, stop, you're thinking too much. You're just thinking about it too much. Stop thinking like that. And I said, well, no, I'm saying that I think perhaps this isn't his repertoire, and that's why he's struggling after a long, you're thinking too much. You're thinking too much. And he literally did this with his hand like a cutoff of a fucking choir
Just
conductor.
cut you off. Yeah, but man, that is cult shit.
Half done with the story.
Oh shit. Well,
sorry.
But let me just
Sorry,
put my
because
piece.
I got up and walked out.
You got up and walked out.
I got up and
Good
walked
for you.
out. I'm not
Good
going to be
for
talked to that way.
Unbelief.
Fuck you, dude.
Nice.
Fuck you, dude. I'm not going to be talked to that way.
Nah.
The next day,
That's good.
one of the other teachers who
cut
was
you
there, he fucking choir
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna start
doing that during the podcast.
Whatever the fuck.
Anyway, so the next day, the sub teacher, the one whose name is not on the program, not the blah 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 Institute of Vocal Arts in East Kabumfuck, Germany. She comes and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, look, he can be hard sometimes, but he actually wants to talk to you because he just wants to talk to you about it." I'm like, okay, cool. He recognized he was being a dick.
Yeah.
So I sit down with him, and he said, I said, yeah, it was a shame. It felt like we kind of were talking past each other. He's like, yeah, I think so too, and it's because you weren't listening to me.
Jeez,
and I
man.
said, no, I was listening to you.
I had a fucking question.
I had a question, and in the end, a different opinion. Yes, I know, but you weren't listening to what I was saying. And I literally said to him, I don't want to continue this conversation anymore.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
This is
good
not
for you, man.
This is not productive. He was somebody who was so
up his own ass.
Right, exactly. He was so up his own ass and so conceited and self-centered about his opinion, right? And the reason I bring this up is these people are prey, or they are predators to people who are looking for guidance after they leave that comfortable situation in the university.
Yeah.
So, my advice to you is, you have to think critically.
Yeah.
But you cannot fall into the trap of finding an answer
Yeah.
One particular answer, be it a person or a way or this or that. You have to remain critical and find what works for you.
Yeah, and these parallels, you find it literally everywhere. Of course, religion is a very easy parallel to make to that. Like, hey, don't ask questions, just fucking, like, listen. But also, like, with pregnancy, you know, there's the pregnancy book. Like, this is how you have a fucking baby. This is how you raise your kids. And it's like, if you try to find the answer, and if you think you have the answer, that's a great way to know you're fucking wrong. You know,
the other
like
thing
there's
this
not a lot of
fucking
rules,
asshole
but
did-
one rule is if you have the way of doing anything, then you don't have enough experience yet.
That's right.
You need to gather some more life experience because, like, fixing a fucking computer, like fixing a sink, there's 100 ways to do it on YouTube. You know, there's not one way to do fucking anything.
Right?
What do you want to say? You wanted to keep going?
No, I was just also going to say that when you also hear somebody who says, "Well, I'm continuing my technique from the Marchese technique," right? This is the like they living in 2020 are claiming to be a direct descendant of the fucking great.
Yeah.
What are their goddamn? I forget the fucking name.
Of these, like, these ancient gurus.
No, the guys who were teaching bel canto. I can't remember the fucking name.
I got it right on a test like 15 years ago. I don't fucking. I passed the class. All right.
The Garcia family.
I think I'm peeking a bit here. I'm getting pumped up.
Anyway, that's my advice to you. Don't fall into that.
No, it's a good question, and it's good advice because people do treat that exactly like religion. You know, where like Christians are like, Buddhists are fucking crazy, man. It's like, you know, like the Buddhists are doing it back,
right?
But it's like, bro, like this is all kind of like
it's all kind of bullshit.
Well, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can believe what you want, but you have to know that other people are believing, and you can't like condescend them because their thing's weird when your thing's equally as weird.
Right.
And you see it all the time in the singing world. It's like they have their teacher and you have their teacher. It's like, oh, fuck them. Yep. They think that's how you sing Mozart. Like
you see it all the time in voice studios in college. That used to drive me fucking nuts.
It's terrible. And something I like about singing in Germany versus America is I feel like I do see less of that. I do have the feeling that there's less of that culty shit. I don't know if it's a mentality thing.
No, it was an American that came over and did it.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you see. But some people have sent us some really culty videos.
I remember that one. Oh my god!
Don't send us your weird guru shit. All right, we don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck who your guru is. All right, and don't make us your guru. You fucking sheep.
Yeah, we are not your gurus.
We're not your gurus.
Trust me, you do not want to be our gurus.
No.
We'll make you do some shit.
Yeah,
we'll make you do some shit.
We'll do that shit where you have to stand outside on the door for 3 days, like in Fight Club.
Oh, you want to do hazing?
And then you got to clean the whole studio for like a month, and then it's over. There's no lesson. That is the lesson. Is fuck.
There would be no. I wouldn't even make it like hazing-esque. I'd be like, no, your job is to make sure everything here happens.
Yeah.
You basically have to just clean everything and do it, have everything set up when we come. That would be my hazing. Like smacking each other's asses with popsicles or something. You know, no one needs that shit. What I need is somebody to take out the trash.
Yeah, what I would do is I'd make them stand outside all day, and when that person comes to put the newspapers in our mailbox, even though we have the sticker, I'd be like, you grab them by the wrist and you burn them with a mark so we know who they are. All right, I'm gonna do one more short one, because I know we're at the end here. But this isn't something that we're going to discuss. But I got to start emptying this inbox out because, as you'll hear, these go way back. This is from like May, right?
Oh, shit.
Hey, love the podcast. Have been binging the last couple of months. Was listening to the latest one. Decided to look up segue because it was bugging me. Apparently, segue is the word we're looking for. So I think you and I tried to spell segue. And I think maybe I
remember this. I can't believe you're I got it wrong.
Segway. And then it's Segue.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't fucking know. Segways are what you ride, I guess.
Right.
So I don't fucking know.
Segue, right, is a play on the... Yeah. Well, thank you for shoving that right in our bum holes.
Thanks for bringing that back. All right, look, we got to do a sponsor.
Oh,
and then
sponsy.
Then we got to move on to
You got to do it today. I'm trying to save the old Voce for a coaching today. Yay.
I have no idea how to say this name. All right, so... SDAO episode 18 Patreon secret sponsor.
Nice.
You like that shit?
Give it.
All right, so today we have Anastasia Michaniti.
Let me see it.
Michanitis. I don't know. You try to say.
Anastasia's is
Anastasia's easy.
Mycanitis?
Mycanitis?
Sis.
I don't know where these people are from. That's the problem.
That looks Greek to me. It's Greek to me.
It looks Greek. All right.
All right.
Anyway, so that took the whole song.
Nice.
I kind of half-assed that
We
one.
love you,
Sorry,
Anastasia.
everybody. Anastasia, thank you so much for your sponsorship. I've sent you your password. You now have access to our secret sponsor section, which improves every single month. You have access to all 3 seasons of secret sponsor content. For those of you interested in supporting us, we have many ways to do that. You go to Patreon. You can become a secret sponsor for just $5 a month, and you automatically double up on your podcast, but you also gain access to basically 3 more seasons of a backlog of podcasts. You can support us one time on Buy Me a Coffee. Just send us, I guess it's Buy Me a Beer. But you go to our website, click the Donate tab. You can also buy stickers. This podcast is beyond impossible at this point without sponsors. We rely heavily on our sponsors. Thank you for all our
and
sponsors.
By the way,
thank you, Anastasia.
We've had some people asking about shirts recently.
We're going to look back into that because if you remember, Germany changed the shipping laws and made it ridiculously expensive to send anything more than a letter.
We're going to test it out. We're going to send somebody one and see what happens.
We're on it. It's just a big process to get because you can't half-ass that shit.
Right.
You know, it's like you have to get the shirts printed and made, and you got to keep costs consistent, and you got to like ship it and commerce and organization, and it's not something to do lightly. It's like we want to do something, we want to consistently do it well.
Right.
You know?
And by the way, people, if you want to support us somehow and not spend any money, if you don't have any money to spend, go subscribe to us on YouTube. Click any videos that you like. Give us a like button there, or hit that like button. Smash that subscribe button. And also on Instagram, come follow us. We got tons of funny memes, and there you can also see the fucking mini operas.
Yeah, we got a new one coming out soon.
Maybe it was the garlic bread that put the whole Mike and Jared gay thing into her head. We leaned pretty hard on the gay garlic bread dick.
Yeah. But
in that one,
we got more in us, so we're gonna let it seep out.
Nice.
All right, everybody, take care of yourself. We'll see you in 2 fucking weeks.
Have fun.